and imagining that the Celtic support roughly falls into two camps. A camp that goes, oh yeah, no, this game's going to be tight. They raise their game against us, and when they're defending, they're a better side, and they've done well in Europe, and we'll see more of that. And it's not going to be an easy game. And then the other lot that are going to go, we're overdue a smashing. They're going to get 5-0 pumped. Is that fair, Ian? Which of the camps do you fall into, or somewhere in between?
I mean, I'd like to fall into the camp of a smashing. I would do, but it never seems to turn out like that. Just because, like we say, I just don't think they're set up for it. I think, as limited as Barry Ferguson is, he probably will have them at least set up pretty well. I mean, I know Fenerbahce were horrendous by any measure, but they still managed to go there and beat Fenerbahce. So I think for me, it's more a note of caution that what we don't want is another the last game that we had at Ibrox where we just didn't show up, because it's like any game. If we don't show up, there's a potential for us to lose. And it's not because Rangers are particularly good. I would say the same if it's like an Aberdeen or a Hearts or something like that. If we're not at it, there's a potential for us to have a wobble. That being said, I would expect us to win this. I would expect Rodgers to have, in the Michael Jordan sense, taken it personally, the defeat the last time and all the patter that came after it. And I think the lack of build-up to it, I think, is, probably symptomatic of so many media Rangers fans who are maybe fearing the same sort of thing, that Rodgers is going to take it personally and it could be a cuffing. I'm just happy to get out there with 3 points. I don't particularly like the games, to be honest with you, because I don't like Rangers. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Guys, what are you thinking? Same lines or any different views?
Well, I'm in the camp where I think they'll do a smashing. I think we are definitely capable of issuing a smashing. They're at our stadium. They will have some support there. They are caged in, rightly so. The toilets are terrified, free from desire. Parky's toilets terrified. I think, personally, Barry back pass, Broguer and Ferguson hasn't been in there long enough to affect any sort of change. So that's a kind of go in there and blow the trumpets of staunch, unite the staunch armies, summon the orcs from the abyss. He's went in there and he's blew the sacred trumpet of Ibrox and he's summoned them up from the nether regions of the depths. That's what they're going to bring. They're going to bring energy. He's not going to bring any sort of tactical masterstroke or change. I think Rangers, I think they are totally designed, utterly built to play against Celtic. Every time they train, it's a model on how to win the ball back out of possession, how to play when the other side has a lion's share of possession. That's how when we see Rangers given the ball and left with the ball, they stutter, they don't know what to do. But when they're out of possession and the other team has the emphasis, as we will have at home, they tend to be a lot better. So I'm wary of Rangers. It's know your enemy. I'm very wary of the performance that they can bring out of possession. We've seen it in Europe. We've seen them perform in Europe against arguably very better sides than them. When they've not got the ball, they work very hard to win the ball back. They play well. So I'm wary of that. What I want to see is the fact that we have an elite level manager. I want Brendan to bring tactical changes and nuances that they will not be prepared for. They've just got a one-trick pony. They've set up their entire squad built towards systematically beating Celtic. So when our usual formation is removed, our usual lineup is altered, I'd like to see how that affects the game. I know Barry does not have the managerial intelligence to change a game or tactical nuance that Brendan does. I just hope that's the way it goes. For me, I hope we smash them. I think we're more than due it. It doesn't feel like it's coming. It feels like it's going to be a tough game. But every other game, I felt like we're going to smash them, and it's been a tough game. So I'm anxious, wary, but anticipating a smashing. I'm kind of in the middle of both camps.
Cheers, guys. Look, I'm sort of similar, somewhere in between. Like the recent history tells you that it could be tight. I just think that we are we've been very close to handing out a real smash into somebody recently, and even the teams that we've beaten, like we've scored 5 against Aberdeen and others, it still hasn't been a perfect performance. I think there's a perfect performance there to come, and I'm really hoping it's like look at the Hibs game. Like it was 2-0 going on 5 or 6, but we never quite clicked. I think if we and this is a massive cliche, but it's because it's valid, and we haven't really done it recently. If you score early against this lot, I think you can run right over the top of them. And for me, there'd be nothing better than going in at halftime, sort of 3-0 up, and the first time they've got fans back, they're on their way out at halftime or shortly thereafter, and go and scud them. Mahesh, obviously Gav's just sort of a bit out on time, but Mahesh's comment was up there earlier, saying that he had them, and he's a kind of one of our main stats guys on viewership. He had Rangers as slight favourites with a 1-goal advantage at Ibrox, and obviously they pushed on ahead of that and won comfortably on the day. He's got us at 2.5 ahead on the stats in the run up to this one, so that's certainly more comfortable. I just think let's talk about lineup. I'm not expecting any surprises. I think we'll go with what most of us assume is the strongest lineup as is, assuming nobody's getting injured this week. And that the Cal substitute was nothing more than a precaution. Ian, do you expect us to line up as we did against Hibs?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the team now. I think that's like the ones that perform by far in a way. I think it's going to be fun to see Jota back in that environment. I think it's going to be a day that he's going to be really up for. And I think that could be the kind of key battle, because usually it's Dyson against Tav. But I think now it's going to be Dyson against Suter and Balogun. I know those hamstrings are going to get tested. They are going to get tested. So, I think that whole front three of ours, I think they're just too good. We're talking about the organisation of Rangers, etc., etc. I just think you look at them, and if they all play like 7, 8, 9 out of 10, there's no team that can. Well, look, Bayern Munich could barely live with them. So what chances, a team of jobbers over at Ibrox got?
Yeah, it's a fair point. Kaiser, do you agree? You expecting any surprises from the gaffer, or say as you were?
Yeah, I think the lineup picks itself. Basically, it's our strongest squad, as Ian says. There's other factors to factor in here. Of course, they're going to have some support in the stadium. They'll have a little singing chorus. I would love us to score early and silence them quick and just go on and dominate the game. Don't know how it's exactly going to work out. I think there will be interesting battles across the field. I think they're Hefty and Kuhn. That's a battle that I'm looking forward to seeing replayed after Kuhn gets smashed in the face with a forearm. We know they're allowed to kick us with impunity. That's also a factor in the game. The VAR team will be strongest lodge members united. They will be in
Brother
there.
Beaton is on the VAR.
Yeah, they have those little...
McLean in the middle, is it as well? That's like a dream.
They have those little orange rings of power.
So there you go. 13 against 11.
So yeah, I'm expecting it to be a hard-fought game. If our players play to the best of their ability, I'm expecting us to dominate. I do think we have more quality. I think my son's taxi's here, right? I can hear him. Bye for now. He's shouting back for now. Yeah, I'll shut up right now, right, and let you talk some more while he gets out the door on that, guys. I'm so sorry, right?
That's okay.
I lost my train of
thought. I think the biggest area that Rangers pose as general problems is they tend to kind of clog up that midfield. So they'll probably play 2 sittings. So I reckon it'll be Diamande and maybe Barron, because I think Barron's come in a bit more to it. And I think they'll just tend to, or they'll try and stink the place out. That will be like their game plan. So we'll have to work hard to find the gaps and break down. And we'll have to be wary of what Fenerbahce could not. I mean, Fenerbahce seemed incapable of doing, and that's like stop a long ball through the middle. So we kind of need to be. So hopefully it's going to be, usual defence, and they'll be able to kind of cope with that. And then we just need to spot the gaps. I think the good thing for us is Engels is on a good game. I mean, Engels has started to really motor. Hatate, hopefully the 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 Hatate shows up and not the one who looks tired after 5 minutes. There should be no excuses. There's been a rest. I just think we'll have too much for them. Just think we'll have too much.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think my only slight concern is that still isn't a full depth on our bench. So if you go with it sounds daft, but if you go with the strongest team and it isn't quite working, then you're not really strengthening the side or keeping it at the same level when you go to the bench. And you can kind of see that with Forrest still out, with Bernardo still out. He's only been really using 2-3 subs, rarely gets back out to the full 4 or 5 empty in the bench. So it was interesting to see Taylor back on the bench the other day. I don't really expect to see him to get much game time, but as much as Sloop looks like a better option, a much better option, Taylor's had a lot of success in the fixture. So, he's at least another number that could come on and is very used to the fixture. So there will be a little bit more depth, but I think you're right. Somebody like Jota, Kuhn, Hatate have all got something to prove. Jota, because he's come back into the fixture after time away. Kuhn was very poor and very anonymous. Hatate probably had one of his poorest games for Celtic in that last outing. And I've just got this feeling that not just Rodgers, but that whole squad will feel like they've had a long wait to put that right. And if you look at all the other games where we've had a poorer performance, we've lost to Hibs, we've drawn with Aberdeen, we've drawn with Dundee United, we've come up against them again very quickly thereafter and absolutely put them in their place. There's been a long wait on this one. We're coming up for 3 months. That team will be itching to put the result right. And I expect us to come flying out the traps. I want to see us snapping into challenges because that's what they'll do. They'll throw their weight around. They'll try and kick us off the park. They will get allowances on that. The usual, it's a derby. You've got to let it flow. Can't punish them too early. Don't want to be tossing out cards all day. All of that will happen. But we've got to match that aggression. And I think you're right, Ian. Engels, I've been a big fan of Engels since he walked in the door. You could just tell there was a classy player there, but he's really started to come onto a game in the last last couple of months, to be honest, the turn of the year, and he's really settling in. Hatate is looking a lot better. He's almost getting stronger later in games. Let's talk a little bit about Callum McGregor because he's clearly had a knock. And he's
Paul, can I just jump in? See, before we talk about Cam McGregor, because I think one of the big things that we've probably not mentioned is we're going to have 7 days rest. Hopefully tonight, Fenerbahce get to 2-0 and then takes them into extra time, because that would be great for us. But there's also, I think there's probably an element of we're going to have to be patient, because one of Rodgers' tactics could be like, look, they've had 2 big games in Europe as well as the one at the weekend. So let's just try and wear them down, let that lactic acid build up in those legs, and then in the kind of final third of the game, really kind of push it home. So I think we do also need to keep in mind that we need to be patient, because that could also be a tactic to take advantage of their tiredness.
It's good. It's a good point. Although we've been burned with that before, if we remember the semi-final when they had a game on the Thursday and we had the full week of rest and went to extra time.
In a heavy January, though. I mean, this is the difference now. I mean, I think we said on last week's show, but you could kind of see, maybe it was the group chat actually, but you could kind of see when we were playing Hibs and stuff how fresh the players looked. Like we had a really consistently dominating performance, because it looks like that, like for the first time in ages, the players were pretty fresh and there didn't seem to be a drop off. So hopefully that follows through. But I think this is probably something we need to look at. I know it was the World Cup that knocked everything on and we didn't have the break and stuff like that, but you can really see there's been a lot of injuries. Like a lot of people have said, like there's been a lot of games and it seems like it's been tough for the players and people have been talking about it. So we just need to make sure we've done well to come out of this. Like, in hindsight, once we actually look at the season back, we'll probably say, wow, actually, given the circumstances, really good to be this far ahead and keep those performance levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good point. Yeah, and Oh yeah, we looked super fresh for the first 15 minutes against Hibs. We like how we weren't up in that first 15 minutes was kind of incredible because we were first at everything. We were super aggressive without the ball. We were slick with it, and probably without their keeper having an absolute stormer, we probably would have scored in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and you know it could have been any score after that. We nearly touched on it earlier. Come circle back, Kaiser. Any concerns about Callum McGregor? He's obviously the rumor to have a bit of a calf strain, a light calf strain was what was talked about 2 games ago when he came off. And then he came off early against Hibs as well. When the game was, we were dominant, but the game was still in the balance at 1-0. I guess Engels has been excellent when he has dropped back into that position against both them. And I think St Mirren was the other one. Thoughts on that? Worried about the skipper or expect him to step up again and push through?
I think Brendan highlighted it last year. He says there's a niggling injury that Callum McGregor has that he carries about this time of year, maybe coming into the winter, maybe some sort of sciatic nerve, something in his back or something, in his leg or something. I don't know. A calf strain it is this time, Paul. You're correct. I believe that was what I heard. For me, Callum McGregor, although he's added some goals in that to his game this season, we've not seen them in a while, scoring from outside the box, inside the box, left foot, right foot. He's added those, but his performance is usually always an 8, sometimes drops to a 7. I would say on the whole, across this season, his performances have been a 7, sometimes dropping to a 6. So is that him carrying an injury? Or is the manager be managing him better in games where we don't really need him to be in there in full force? We should be leaving him out and resting him. That's why we should have cover there. Engels is there. Engels can drop back, play that position. We've seen Matt O'Reilly do it before. It didn't really stunt Matt O'Reilly's development where we wanted him playing on the right. We've seen him drop back and fill in there. I don't think it's a slight to Callum McGregor that he's getting a bit older and we want him at his best. So you preserve him, you rest him, you wrap him in cotton wool. I don't think we're ever going to drop him for a derby. That's just not going to happen. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be playing. Is Brendan smart enough? Is Brendan going to maybe hold him in reserve and start with someone else, start with a different midfield setup and then bring Callum McGregor on? Or will he start full force? I don't know. That's the thing with Brendan, in it. How is he planning? Personally, I would hope we flood the midfield and just overball them.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but with the last couple of games, because teams have tried to play 2 up top against us of late. They've seemed to think the best way to get us is to add someone else in to kind of have the 2 up top. And what that's resulted in is Calmac appears to be freed from his usual role of passing the ball between the centre backs. And we've actually seen him, I would argue, over the last 4 or 5 games, be much further up in effect. So I actually think form-wise, he's probably started to come on to a bit more of a game because he's been freed up from that sort of holding role. Now, it's to be seen if Rangers are going to do the same thing, right? Are they going to try and do that too? Because if they do, I would expect Callum McGregor to have a bit more influence in the game because you'll get further forward. But I tend to agree with you, Kaiser. He started the season really, really well. And then he settled into this sort of role where he was just sitting there recycling the ball. And it was kind of like he was just a passenger. And it's not in a bad way, but he just wasn't keeping up that early season form or affecting the game in the way. But I think now teams have started to try and push those 2 up. It's given him license to go and be a bit freer. And so we'll see. I think that'll be a big thing. If you start to see Rangers keeping those 2 up, I'd expect Calmac to wander. And if he doesn't make it, I mean, it could be the making of Engels playing that role. I mean, we would all love to see him there. Probably a game against Rangers might not be the best, but could also be the making of him.
He's looked superb when he's been back there. His distribution is excellent. I've been really impressed by his covering defensive work. He's got he's a good athlete. He's got big long levers. He gets back quickly and covers the ground. It doesn't look like he's tearing it up, but he's got long strides and he eats the ground up. There was one in St Mirren, he ended up himself pretty much back in the right back position and snuffed one out shortly after McGregor went off. I just think he's he looks like even this early, he looks like a complete midfielder that's just obviously going to continue to develop. And you can see why we paid the money for him. I guess I don't think he'd struggle. I think it definitely would change the midfield dynamic though, because I think he's got a brilliant engine and great going forward and back. Your next cab off the rank's probably Luke McCowan, which is he's probably not. He's probably doesn't give you the same amount. Potentially gives you more creativity in the final third, but he's maybe not got that defensive work to the same degree. So I think McGregor will unless he has a blow up this week, I think he'll 100% start, even if it's only to get a 60, 70 minutes. All being well, the game could be well on its way by that point. So I don't really expect him not to play. Beyond that, I think, and when I saw this in one of the comments earlier, the only other decision I think it's even partly a decision is, Idah or Maeda through the middle, and that's really the only other option. I don't think
Maeda.
Of course it is. But that's you wouldn't say there's anywhere else on the pitch that you would be in, even for a second. You would go, who else is going to play in that place? That's
by the way, to Mahesh's point there, Hadji wants away. Like Hadji wants away. They were all battering him in like previous games, etc. So I think it's all very well for Hadji to play well at Ibrox when the full crowd's behind them, but let's see how well he plays at a full packed Celtic Park when there's like real pressure on them to get a result for a guy that's allegedly signing a pre-contract in the summer. So let's see.
Yeah, look, I think that you're spot on. But the other thing I'm sort of looking forward to in a sort of twisted way is I just want to sicken that EBT bench that they've cobbled together. Like, I just want to see all those hardcore idiots that took their EBTs and then buggered off the first chance they get. I want to see their faces tripping them and absolutely sickened and having to be standing and sitting on the edge of the touchline with the ground pumping, the huddle going, the stadium rocking, and them on the end of a hefty defeat. Whether we get it or not, I think we'll win. It just depends how comfortably. And I think a lot of that. I take your point, Ian, that they will potentially tire. I think we should be getting after them from the first minute and try and put them away as early as possible.
We still should. I think Pete McGee said it in the comments. It's Czerny we need to keep quiet. Yeah, he's by far in a way their best and more influential player, and I think that's why we'll see Schlupp again and not Kuhn. Because that's I mean, look, there's been bias and there's getting into them and stuff like that, but Czerny is by far but that's why he's not going to be there next season, because they won't be able to afford him. He probably won't want another, like, he'll have had the Ibrox experience. He won't want to be back, so like they should just enjoy him while he's there.
Absolutely. Well, they've got this and one other game against us. That's probably it for meaningful games for the season, isn't it? Well, depending on Europe, I agree with you. I really enjoyed Mourinho's post-match interview, sort of telling them to keep calm. It's only half time. Tie's not over. I didn't watch the game. It's middle of the night here. But I looked at the squad that Fenerbahce have got. I couldn't believe how strong a squad they've got, at least on paper. And then there was times at the back that the Fenerbahce defense was like one or two men, and they were just so out of position. I mean, I think Mourinho said afterwards, like, he was actually glad with 3-1 considering how badly they played. So again, but that's why I'm saying it's the same thing for us, right? It's like we had that performance at Ibrox where we were just, I mean, it was inexplicably awful. I mean, for us, it could have been more. We didn't even, can't even remember we had a shot. I think we had one shot on target or something. We were like that bad. So hopefully, like a hope of all hopes, that is our one of those games out of our system in the worst possible fixture. But it just shows you, it doesn't, like, even a team like a Mourinho team, which you would expect to be well organised, drilled, defensively very sound, just on the day, just weren't. I mean, look, I'm not giving the credit to Pep Fergiola here. I mean, it was obviously a Barry Ferguson masterclass that made that defence go evil. I think we're probably just not giving the tactical geniuses the credit. Any concerns from either of you of anything less than a win?
Me? No, I think we're going to win, definitely. I think as she says, the special one, put them in their place. He said it's only half time right now. As I highlighted to earlier on in the show, I think when you leave Rangers with the ball, they're ineffective. When you retain the ball against them, they can be effective out of possession. They're like some sort of jaggy fruit. You need to cut through fast and score against them. If you take your time and try and nibble around the edges, you're going to have a hard time. I think that's what the special one found out. Rather than cutting through them and getting the goals, he tried to play around about them, and that's their game plan. That's what they like to do. Let you have the ball and hit you on the break, counter-attacking football. And that's all they can do, basically. Because when they're left with the ball, they fall apart. I think the special one will cut through early on in the game, score early, maybe score too early in the first 5-10 minutes, and that crowd will capitulate. The sad news, boo bears will start, and they'll fall apart. That game could be over before 90 minutes, and they will come limping towards paradise, licking their wounds, looking to get a result against us. It's whether we cut through them as fast as well. That's what we need to do as well. I'm in no doubt that we've got a better squad. I'm in absolutely no doubt that we have better players, better quality of players. We are by far the better side. There is always that. What happened at Ibrox? Why did we not turn up? Why was it so flat? Was there a bug going round? Did everybody have a bit of Ianitis? The man flu was ravaging the Celtic squad. I don't know what happened there. I'm sure Brendan won't let it happen again. That's one thing I know. Brendan will have the players utterly fired up and ready to rumble.
Guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed the spiky fruit analogy. Does that mean I have to start calling them dirty pineapple bastards? Is that what we're calling them these days?
Need to find some sort of spiky fruit.
Not like an orange. All right, let's crack on. Let's do predictions. Ian, score prediction.
I think probably 2-0. There's always the chance that we mess up in defence and concede, but I kind of feel this has got like a 2-3-0 written on it.
Kaiser?
Oh, me, I've learned for the last game in the lead up to Ibrox not to be so bold with my predictions, not to be so blasé and shouting about the score. So I'm going to go in that vein. I'm going to keep it tight. I think we're only going to beat them the 6-1. Yeah, it'll be a tight game.
Good man. We'll we don't have Jerry anymore, but I'll take Jerry's mantle and go 7-0. 7-0. I agree with you, Ian. I agree with you, and I think it could be 2 or 3. I'd love to see 4 or 5, but we'll. I can't see us not taking the win at home. With the form we're in and the rest and all the other things we've covered in the last sort of half an hour or so. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Guys, Ian, will you be in the rummer, or depends on how you're feeling?
Yeah, we got a couple of old boys in the rubber, so if I'm not feeling too good, it's one of those ones that I don't want to put anyone in hospital.
Taking out members of the community.
yeah, exactly. It's like if I'm not feeling well, I'll watch it in the house. But load myself up with Lemsip or something and get one in there.
Just put a plague mask on.
Kaiser, were you watching the game?
I will be watching it live on the channel with Dano, hopefully, in X-Man. And we'll see what happens there. We know Gav's a big X-Man fan. He's thinking about just using X-Man's face for the lives. X-Man wearing the Celtic strip. Dano's going to take X-Man on Britain's Got Talent at some point, I think. See how it goes. But yeah, we should be watching.
So yeah, another good opportunity to plug the worldwide CSC. We're sort of rebranding the drink along. I think there still will be drinking. Let's be honest.
Sometimes
it's Kaiser and Dano, so they'll be drinking. But we're moving away from just making it about drinking, and we're calling it the worldwide CSC. So wherever you are in the world, which is kind of why this channel started. Gav's isolated in the middle of nowhere in Malaysia, so he started a channel so that all our Celtic fans could get together. So the worldwide CSC is basically the rebranded drink along. So yeah, join the guys for most games, and they'll be.
I love the way Gav puts his cam right, and it positions, and he's got the green tank net behind him where his fish are missing. and people just look at Gav and they don't know how big or how small you are for the cameras, right? Because we're all in scale. When you meet each other, like when I met David was quite tall and that. People don't know Gav is actually 7 foot tall. He's built like Bane. See for that Batman movie. People did not know loneliness. Gav was born of loneliness. He's just out in Malaysia claiming a nuclear silo.
I was born in the dark.
That's Gav was born in the dark.
Yeah, I've heard he's a unit. I've heard he's a unit. I've obviously not met him in person as yet, but no doubt that he would be a decent head or so above me. I'll be at the Perth CSC as usual for these big games. I would imagine we'll have 300 or 400 in. There'll be live music. I think the doors are opening from 5 or 5:30. If you are in Perth and you're not already a member, you can get half season memberships. I'd be getting on that by Saturday at the latest, or you might struggle to get in. If you're not a member, your only way chance of getting in is if you are visiting from interstate or overseas. If that is the case, a $10 donate. Get in touch with the CSC through social media, and a $10 donation on the day for charity will get you through the doors. So yeah, if you are in Perth and you're not a member and you're traveling here from elsewhere, get in touch with the club. It's always a great event. And I'll be catching up with some of my boys for beers beforehand, so I will be likely reasonably
well lubricated.
Well, I tend to find it's less stressful if you've had quite a few pints beforehand because you're just generally a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, that's kind of, and I've got Monday and Tuesday off because it's Paddy's Day on Monday, St. Patrick's Day, and Kneecap are playing Fremantle on St. Patrick's Day night. So it's going to go off. If anyone's seen the footage of them doing the live gigs, the live gig in Federation Square in Melbourne Free the other day, looked absolutely bonkers. We've had tickets for ages, sell out. It's already been bumped to a bigger venue. So yeah, Kneecap on Monday night will be great, which is why I've got Tuesday off, because at my age I can no longer manage a 2-day bender and still manage to go to work the day after. So I will be limping into work on Wednesday. That will do us for the game. Let's talk about show Israel the red card now. Gav might be lagging behind, so I might add this myself and hope that the technical stuff works. Let's see if we can make this work. Just play this video first.
That looks like a picture because it's a JPEG.
Well, there you go. There is a picture. So there's the technical stuff not working. There is a video kicking around somewhere. Gav's grabbed control. I don't know what he's up to. I think we're maybe just going to go through some pictures of how the movement is going. There is a video somewhere, but we'll get to this. So yeah, obviously this is Bohemians, and basically this campaign is just growing by the week. It's Clifton Vale. What do you make of this, guys? Obviously, it starts. I think the Green Brigade were, if not at the first, then I think they probably were the first, but certainly at the forefront of this campaign. It just continues to grow week on week.
I think fair play to everyone for keeping up the pressure, because I think there needs to be voices and it needs to be highlighted. I think the unfortunate thing is there's absolutely zero appetite internationally to address it in the way that it should be, and I think this is one of the few kind of remaining really kind of public displays, apart from the people that are obviously out there kind of protesting every week in the capital cities and stuff. You got to give props to them as well, but this is one of the kind of few things that is being done, and it's difficult for the kind of media to avoid this one because it's so visible in the national game. So fair play to everyone for getting behind it and keeping the pressure up. Was discussing it with someone the other day, and I was saying it's Israel the red card. It's not Israelis. It's not Jews. It's not
Mm.
that. It's the country of Israel. It's Netanyahu. It's that sort of thing. I think the distinction just needs to be made when we're talking about it, because it's always spun up as something that's anti-Semitism and stuff like that. I'm sure there are anti-Semites out there everywhere, as there are racists, homophobes, etc., etc. But the movement is not an anti-Semitic one. It's, there's a genocide that is continuing, and it needs to be called out.
Absolutely. I think that last picture was 72 clubs were up to now, 25 countries, 6 continents. So it's gone global. Fantastic to see that level of support. But as you say, and there's no appetite to do anything, never mind in sport making a difference. There's no appetite to do anything by governments. Continues to go on. And the genocide continues. So obviously we applaud everybody getting behind the movement, and obviously a fair play to the Green Brigade that started it all.
I think it fully highlights the value. People say there's no space in the stands of football for politics. This fully highlights why people deserve a voice, freedom of speech, the right to say how you feel about the situations that's going on. And football stadiums are very much at the forefront of that. They're live on television when it's large sporting events. Fans, as you've said yourself, Paul and Dean, it's not directed at Jewish people or Zionist movement or anything like that. It's more that the country itself, for its conduct in conducting war and genocide. Personally, I'm glad I'm on the right side of history. I was from the very start. Suffered a lot of angry people coming in and telling me, especially when Abada was at Celtic before Abada left, and then mainstream media jumping on, and it's not enough to say you stand against something. Just because you stand against what a country's doing doesn't make you hate the people of that country. That's like me saying, I don't agree with what Russia's doing in Ukraine, so I hate every Russian person. Well, not every Russian person agrees with what Russia's doing in Ukraine. So it's a broad statement. It's foolish to think just because you don't agree with that, you get roped in with a crowd, you're anti-Semitic or things like that. Look, I'm a live and let live kind of person. I don't even believe in racism, right, ladies and gentlemen? I know there's hatred in that exists between people, but I believe racism is when one race persecutes another race, and there's only one race in this planet, and that's the human race. There might be very different types and tribes of humanity, of different colours and religions, but that's their business and none of mine's. One thing's for sure, if I need a blood transfusion, I don't ask the doctor what colour the man was that's giving me the blood, or what country he came from, or what religion he was. I just take that blood and be thankful I'm alive. I think we should all just, we should all, we should all look at it a bit more like that, and just, it's tribes of humanity. It's no different races. It's there's no such thing as racism in my book.
Spot on, Kaiser. Well said, mate. We're going to crack on. Gav, play the video.
Go, Gav. Go. Gav's delayed. Mentally, physically, and on the stream.
Red cards, not for the players, but for Israel. From Spain to Malaysia, Italy to Chile and beyond, stadiums have become arenas for activism, with fans demanding FIFA suspend Israel over its actions in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. But will football's governing bodies take action? The trend took off after Celtic FC fans unveiled a banner reading "Show Israel the red card" at a Champions League match on February 12th. The protests aim to pressure UEFA and FIFA into suspending Israel from international football competitions. Calls for action against Israel's football participation are not new. At a FIFA Congress in 2015, similar demands were made after the 2014 Israel-Gaza war. Human Rights Watch and other groups have long pushed for sanctions, citing discrimination against Palestinian players and the fact that at least 5 Israeli football clubs are based in illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank. In 2014, UEFA banned Russia from integrating clubs from annexed Crimea into its own league. But when a 2017 FIFA committee recommended similar action against Israel for teams in the occupied West Bank, FIFA ignored it. Israel's war on Gaza has renewed these pressures, with the issue raised again at FIFA's Congress last year. Israel has used sports stadiums to detain and torture Palestinians, reportedly killed at least 382 Palestinian football players, and destroyed 147 football facilities in its war on Gaza in the past year. As a result, Celtic FC's actions have sparked a worldwide movement. Fans across Greece, Morocco, Spain, Malaysia, France, Italy, Chile, Tunisia, Belgium, Turkey, Germany, and Ireland have raised red cards, Palestinian flags, and banners at local matches. It's unlikely FIFA will listen. They've ignored their own reports and delayed making a decision several times, despite repeated requests. But as football stadiums turn into spaces for protest across the globe, onlookers have one question. Will Israel's actions in Gaza impact its ability to take part in sports and culture competitions worldwide?
Ooh, that's a new view.
I know.
Scary.
Thanks, Gav, for playing the video. Look, we've covered it in detail. I think it's obviously going to continue. But after a pretty serious segment, we're going to completely about face, as we sometimes do on A Celtic World, and we're going to go from extremely serious to very unserious. And we'll show. We're going to do section 3, which was sing along with Rod, and I should probably do a little bit of exposition on this to protect Gav, in that this is his interpretation of what Rod Stewart might be feeling. Not to back him, but just in terms of how he is. I think there's an explanation in the video, but let's play the video.
Yeah. Everybody get a hold of your rod and get ready to sing. Monty will show you the dance.
He sits alone, surrounded by directors, big hair and shades, looks at his detractors. His lips ain't dry, his complimentary drinking. That counter of fans tell righty what they're thinking. Do you want my finger? I'm a famous singer. You're the so-called Green Brigade. Yeah, so I'm a Tory. You be with my money, miles above your pay grade, your pay packets combined. He ain't acting shy, he's too old for shirking. No more skin-tight pants, no more butt-cheek twerking. Now hold on a minute, the shouting rod's a wanker. He just smiles and telephones his banker. Call him a has-been or a total sellout. You think he cares if you and him are fell out? Do you want my finger? I'm a famous singer. You're the self-styled ultra crew. Yeah, I might look silly, but with my old Willie, I shag way more birds than you collectively.
Sorry, Gav Tunnel there.
It's
Somehow I feel worse. Somehow I feel worse.
It somehow finished abruptly, which it was a blessed relief. There's a lot of comments in there about needing subtitles. Was it in English? I'm going to show my age here. All I could think of was Vic Reeves's club singer.
Club singer, right?
Yeah.
Doors.
I thought it was good. The Budgie Smugglers were
Yeah, I think the lyrics were interesting. And yeah, I think it was Gav's interpretation of what Rod Stewart thinks of the Green Brigade, not what we think of the Green Brigade, to be clear. So yeah, I think a lot of people I watched Monday's show earlier on. I was catching up at lunchtime, and it seemed like there were a lot of demand for a tune on Monday. And Gav was not playing ball on Monday. Well, this is what you get. This is what you get. Like you demand a tune, you get this. So obviously this has been kicking around. This has been kicking around for a while, I can tell you. So there's been some debate in the background about the club singer smells better than that. Yeah, he is. But yeah, there you go.
When is AI going to catch up? Because we can't be that far away from AI being able to kind of just take that and clean it all up and sound like Rod or something.
But look,
fair play to Gav, but great use of creativity. Well done, Gav.
I listen to a few AI ones right now, Ian, and it's like John Denver, but he's singing Big Butts, and it's John Denver's actual voice singing Big Butts and stuff like that. It's funny, quite enjoyable. Like Elvis singing "Baby Got Back," and it's quite good.
I think this comment sums it up. Does Gav definitely have a problem with his Windays, or does he not want to be here to face the music? I think that's probably fair. We'll move swiftly on from that. With time's pressing on. We are going to get into the last bit of the show, which is the famous quiz. Now, Kaiser's been bigging himself up, which he told me off air was because he's absolutely hopeless at it. But
definitely.
We'll see how we go. I think we've been playing contributors versus viewers. Gav's been acting as a quiz master because he put the thing together, and I thought, I'm going to be hosting. I'm not going to be able to join in because I've not had a crack at this yet. But he went, you don't know the answers, and I'll keep the answers, so I get to be in the team. So I think viewers have probably been edging it. I don't know if we've been keeping full scores, but viewers have been edging it. So I reckon on that basis, we'll probably start, boys. What do you think?
If you want, I've got buttons for us for when we get it right and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Got the catchphrase button.
I don't know how much time we're allowed, but we'll maybe just keep going till we get it. So, boys, we've got choice of numbers 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, or 18. Pick one.
18.
18, right. And this any of us three, but the contributors can steal. So if they type in before us, they can steal it. We're not allowed to steal off them, which seems a bit unfair, but here we go. So right, we'll throw it in and we'll see how we go. Shout out if you know it.
Bertie Eccleston.
He's not playing for Celtic. It's Bertie Auld, surely. It must be Bertie Auld. Auld Lang Syne. It's Auld Lang Syne. It's Bertie Auld. We've got it.
Bertie Auld. I'm like, why is it Mitsubishi Ecto in the middle? Who's Mitsubishi Ecto line dance?
It's Bert E. Auld Lang Syne. It's
Bertie Auld. Right.
I don't need Gav to confirm, but if you want to chime into the comments that I'm right, that would be wonderful. But I'm saying 1-0 to us. 1-0 to us.
What a squad, right. What a team.
Viewers, I need you to give us a number of those that I just said, which I can't look at your bloody numbers at the same time. So type in a number. What are we on? 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 6 or 4.
11 we got.
11, right. Okay. So we are not allowed to jump in on this, boys, but
let's go, chat. You can do this.
11. Here we go. Let's go.
Oof. This to me looks like a tough one. Did anyone know the boxer?
He's probably pre-World War II, knowing Gav.
Smoking Joe. You go. Here we go.
That's a good one. Yeah. Well done.
There you go. Fraser Forster.
Well done.
Smoking Joe Fraser. Well done, guys. Oh, they're all coming in now. They all
copy each other. They're all the same in that chat.
I know. They're not
Well done.
Right,
Well done.
okay, let's go back. Right, I'll get rid of this. So it's one each. Okay, lads, we've got 14, 13, 10, 9, 6 or 4. Ian, pick one.
10.
10. Right. We best be quick because they're starting to get on it.
Jeez, oh, Anne Hathaway, bags, cigarettes,
You
but
can say what you see. Say what you see.
Anne butt, Hathaway butt, way cig, way fag, and fag.
Yeah,
You can call me Betty when you call me. Right.
Who's on the left?
Yeah, Alan Stubbs. There it is. Al and Stubbs.
Stubbs.
You can call me Al and Stubbs. There you go. PPG.
What a tune. I get lost in the sauce. That was the name of the song. You can
Well
call
done.
me Betty.
Well done, team. So we got stubbed. We've been stubbed out there. It's 2-1. 2-1 to the
The Gimps and chat.
The
brigade.
Okay, chat crew. You've got 4, 6, 9, 13 or 14.
Monty
you
1,
want?
6 and 9.
Yeah.
Monty, give Monty 6 and 9 together.
19.
19's not an option. I think 14's the highest, is it not?
Do 14 then, go on.
Right. You're getting 14. Chat crew, you're getting 14.
Is the bit that's been covered by Square Sausage Mick important?
I don't know. We need to get rid of Mick. We need to get it.
Oh,
yeah.
It's for catchphrase. Just reveal the square.
Yeah.
Big girl bite.
It's pointing
It
at
is.
a leg.
A child's leg, shoulder.
It's lady leg shoulder. What a player he was. Pre-war era.
Leg bite.
I'm glad it's
Calf.
the chats and not ours.
Knee bite. Knee. I don't know.
Nakamura? I don't know how you get that, Pete McGee.
He's just guessing player names. It's Joe Ledley.
I don't, yeah, I've got no. This one's got me stumped. This might be one of the hardest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Gav, are you going to come and save us and give us the answer?
This one's too hard, Gav. We need them like primary
I-
school level.
Oh, here we
Near-
go.
Oh,
Near-
near bit. Oh my
Near-
days.
Oh,
Oh my
dear.
days.
I still
I
don't
agree.
get it.
I agree with Sarah.
Because she's near and he's far, and he's been bitten.
He's been bitten. Oh yes,
Right,
too,
right.
very
Now I
clever.
get it right.
very clever, Gavin. Right, too clever
It's a
for
bit
your own
over
good.
intellectual for us, Gav.
Do you know
Right,
that gif that's like,
I know.
that's that
Sick.
one.
We're
Take
gonna
it back
do.
to Hull Street. Take it back to Jenny had a big dog. Dog
We're
went for a run. Right
gonna
back
do
here, Gav.
We're gonna do one more to give us a chance of an equaliser, and then we'll finish. Right. So we'll either get a 2-2 draw or we'll get Gub 3-1. Right. Boys, let's go for. Oh, some of these look complicated. I'm gonna go for this, which is number 4. We best be.
You're not allowed to peek at the pictures. Some of these look
You're cooking the
complicated.
books.
No, I couldn't see it. It's tiny.
Kieran Tierney.
Kieran
Kieran
Tierney.
Tierney.
Well done.
Bravo.
Ian the
Bravo,
Savage.
Ian.
Look at that.
In
Look
like
at that.
Flynn.
Come on.
Cracking. Kieran Tierney. Well done, mate. Well done. Well, I think
That was a
that's-
literal say what you see. That was a
It was,
literal
say
say what you see.
Say what you see.
Ladies
Say
and
what you see.
gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
We got
We win.
So
There you go.
No, 2-2. 2-2 it was Kaiser. So
2-2. It's the 2-2. It's a draw.
Aye, that's
We'll
a
set-
moral victory to us. We get to parade around chat now, holding up
Yeah.
the invisible trophy.
that's it. Clement jumping into the crowd.
We can celebrate our 2-2 draw and hope that we're not matching it on the weekend. We've just tipped over an hour.
Play Rod's finger again. Rod's finger.
We're not finger again ever, hopefully. I can't believe he left me lumbered with that. Like, it seems like a massive stitch up. Anyway, thanks to everyone in the chat. As always, you make the show what it is. We thank you for being part of it. I think there's nearly 300 on today, so thanks very much.
Legends.
Ian, Kaiser, appreciate your company. Gav, creeping around in the background. And big old lurch. Thanks for your help.
Enjoy cleaning the silo.
Yeah, and
Big insidious Bane.
That's a new one. At least no, we're not calling him Dickie this week in Rillington Place. That's about it. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks for your contribution, everyone. We'll see you back on Monday when hopefully Gav sorted his issues, and we will be debriefing on the big game. Take it easy, stay safe, all the best. Hail, hail.
Cheers, guys.
Hail, hail.